The stock market is currently having a massive gap down during extended hours trading session. I did decide to buy ES during the futures hours trading session. I'm currently long at a price of 6716. Within tonight's analysis, I'm going to be explaining to you on why tonight and heading into tomorrow and the rest of this week is expected to be a very simple, overall easy trading days to finish this week overall very, very strong. We've been absolutely crushing it as always. Going to be going over the trades that we ended up making towards the end. But first things first, it is time to do an in depth price action analysis on the SPY, walking you through the new game plan, the new key levels of interest on where we're planning to trade at, where to buy calls, where to go long, where to buy puts, where to go short, how to determine and confirm the overall trend reversal, and how to determine and confirm and trade the overall trend. I'm going to show you step by step. We're going to get straight into the game plan, go over the new in depth price action analysis. Is going to be a good one. Let's get right into it. Then, towards the end, we're going to go over the trades. So, in terms of the weekly chart pattern, for those of you who watched the last video, it's expected to be bullish. Market just had a big gap down, and we're currently at a major key make or break level. You guys are well aware that 669 was one of our key levels of interest to be going long off a bounce. It's not our absolute best level, but it is a key level to be going long. And I'm going to be walking you through some patterns on why we could potentially be bottoming. And then if not, I'll go over the next overall level where it's definitely going to be bottoming. And then that's going to be an automation level, right? So in tonight's analysis, I will be giving you some automation levels as well. And in terms of how automation levels work, when the level is tested the first time, you get in, you get out. If it's tested again, right, after the first time, it's not an automated level. Automated levels only work the first time they are tested, right? So make sure you're setting your price alerts. When the price alert triggers, you enter the trade, right? So with that being said, I'm going to be giving you automated levels for puts, automated levels for calls. Going to be explaining to you how to determine and confirm this trend reversal and how to determine and confirm overall trend once that trend reversal is set, or if it's going to be continuation of the current trend. We're going to get into all that, how to determine and confirm everything. So, in terms of the weekly chart, this is what I want you to understand. Red weekly candle facing down, red weekly candle facing down, red weekly candle facing down, all very similar. You can kind of go back historically too, right? Whenever it does this, red weekly candle facing down. In terms of where this red weekly candle is placed in this particular situation, it's placed at a break and retest level as well. This is resistance. This is resistance. These are the breakouts. This is the retest, right? Facing down next week, bullish closing week, right? And then you can see right here, this is a lower retest, right? So think about it like this. Last time this occurred, and in terms of the similarities that I'm going to be bringing awareness to, trend reversal weekly candle, red facing down, and the bottom of these weekly candles are placed at a break and retest level, right? And in terms of this break and retest level, that was towards 675 if we go with the highs, and then towards this closing 669. So look at this, man. This is very interesting. This right here and this right here is like a resistance zone. This move is a breakout, and then you can see whenever the SPY retested in between this zone, it kept trying to push higher, it kept trying to break out, right? Had a very successful break and retest right here on this weekly candle. So trend reversal, red facing down. Next week, when it started to go under that previous week lows on that red candle right here, had a strong bullish recovery, right? So trend reversal candle, red facing down, red facing down, green facing up. And then look, this week, green candle. Now we got 2 days left into the week, right? And SPY's having a massive gap down during extended hours. Not a lot of time left into this week. And we're having a massive gap down during extended hours. And if you look at the weekly chart pattern, SPY's even more oversold, and it's beginning to bottom at that lower area right here of this break and retest zone. You could see, it was bottoming at 671 right here. It was bottoming at 675 right here. And then in terms of where the break and retest zone actually is, it's in between 675, but absolute lowest right here, 669, which was one of our key levels to be going long, right? And one thing you need to understand about stocks is they have their craziest spikes and crazy reversals when they hit their lower levels. This was a very crazy reversal when it was at 671. This was a very crazy reversal when it was at 675. Now it's even lower. It's even lower. We got 2 days left into the week, and the market is having this big gap down, this massive move, to the downside, at the most perfect time to be having it. If the market's going to try to close bullish and have a bullish recovery into this week and pump back up to fill this gap that's now waiting to fill above at 676, this all makes sense. This all makes sense. This even strengthens the idea that, it hits that lower oversold level and then it has that chain reaction where it bounces. But like in terms of the timing is in full alignment if you think about it, because there's not a lot of time left into the week, right? To close strong. And we are currently trading at our most oversold levels, very strong oversold levels where the trend is literally hanging on by a thread. If this is going to, reverse and close strong into the week, right? And in terms of timing, the timing is perfect because it's happening at night. We have all of the time in the world to bounce back. You know, we have throughout the futures hours trading session, and then we got Thursday, and then we got Friday. We have all the time in a clock. So if you look at the situation, the most likely outcome with all the time that we have in such a massive big gap down, is to bounce first. It's to not keep flushing. It's to not keep selling off with this overall pattern that I'm pointing out. This literally just happened not too long ago. Red facing a trend reversal, red facing down. Next week goes below the previous week lows, bullish strong closing week, right? Trend reversal, red facing down. Next week goes below the previous, week lows. And then you could see it already began to recover. It already tried to close strong towards the highs. Look at the price, 676. It wasn't too long ago where this was at 662. Now we're at 670. 669 is that perfect level where more oversold chain reaction bounce, you know, to start to close this week overall bullish and to start to pump back to fill this gap that's waiting to fill above. So that's where I believe we are currently at within the timing of the overall market. If the timing is inaccurate, there's going to be another level to buy, and I will explain to that level. I will also explain to you how to determine and confirm if the timing is inaccurate and if there is a break of trend, and the bears take some control and we go to that lower level. So you can take advantage of, potentially buying some puts at these lower levels. Got to be extremely cautious of doing that. But more importantly, to be buying calls at the next lower level, right? But regardless, that's where I think we're currently at. I think this is just the perfect setup to recover, to bounce. And some of the best trades that you can make on ES is when it gaps down. Every single time, man, ES has a gap down of like fucking 70 points, 100 points when it happens rarely, right? The market's been a lot more volatile recently. But when ES has these massive gap downs, like this one recently, we caught this one fucking big, man. This one, 6,732 all the way to 6,584. I was buying this at 6,632. I was down like 40 fucking points on this trade. Held it. It went up over 150 points the next day. Fucking massive gains on that. Like literally one of the best times to be trading ES is when it has a massive gap down and when it's in alignment with one of our levels. So let's get into this, man. I explained to you the weekly chart pattern. Now we're going to go into the daily chart. Then we're going to go into the 10-day, 30-minute chart. And I'm going to show you the patterns and thesis, man, because this is going to get very interesting. So, that's where I currently think we're at. And then if you watch the video, you'll understand, if there's going to be a break of trend and we're going to keep selling off. And then if so, how to take advantage of going short. But more importantly, like I said, just the next level to go long, because that next level to go long is going to be fucking insane. Right now, we're at a pretty good level to go long, and we're on that make or break hanging on thread, and it does kind of make sense to go up first before going lower. But there's going to be another amazing level. If that's tested, then you can be going long there. If you had a loss on calls, you make it all back and more going long at the next level. And in the meantime, if there was a break of trend, you could try a put, or you could just sit on the sidelines, right? But I'm telling you, these two levels I got for calls, literally the one that I'm in right now is future is a fucking gold mine. But the next lower level, it's absolutely genius automation. But it's just in terms of the timing of the situation, it is fairly genius to be, going long on ES right now in terms of the timing because we had a massive gap down. Market's at our key level. It's going to try to close strong this week. There's a gap to fill above at 676. Best time to be buying ES this year is when it had these massive gap downs to just explode back up and fill the gap. And I have a 100% success rate trading ES this year. And in terms of the trading situation that I'm in right now, I just don't see how that's going to be an L. Literally every single time ES gaps down, it tends to recover fairly quickly, and it just had a massive gap down. So, anyways, losing is a personal choice. When you have a 100% success rate trading ES, that's just how my life happened to go. I didn't know I was going to have a 100% success rate trading ES, but whenever I swing trade ES, it's a win, despite it sometimes dropping 40 to 50 points. If you're up over 1,200 plus points on a year trading ES, if it drops 100 points, you really don't sweat it. So, anyways, in terms of the daily chart, this is what I want you to understand. Looking at the daily chart, we have a trend reversal, trend reversal. So we got some trend reversals, right? And if you see kind of what it's doing, you got this previous resistance right here at 676, and then you got this previous resistance right here at 674, right? This kind of break and retest zone. Market had a breakout, pushed higher, came back down, break and retest, form the higher support, right? And one thing you got to understand about these wicks is, when SPY is breaking out and retesting, what it tends to do is it tends to try to bounce back and retest the highs of these wicks, which are currently sitting at 680 and 683, right? And you're well aware with the weekly chart pattern that I showed you, it's going to attempt to have a strong bullish closing week. Now, the most important thing for that bullish closing week, for it to be a very strong bullish closing week, we need to start to bottom out during this future session here. We need to start bottoming out and staying above 669 for that strong bullish closing week. If not, it's gonna be a drop further and then an overall bullish move, but not the most strong bullish closing week unless the market goes fucking parabolic into Thursday to Friday with the most insane, 15 plus point move or whatever the fuck. So that's where we're at on the daily chart. We're at a break, we're at a retest, we're at a wick to be tested here and a wick to be tested right here. On a successful break and retest, it tends to gravitate in these wicks towards the high, tend to be magnets where the SPY tends to kind of just gravitate back towards the high of these wicks, right? See right here, there was like a recent wick right here, sold off, and then SPY gravitated back towards the high of the wick, and then it began to sell off, right? And just historically looking at the daily chart pattern, I've seen in many situations where it just tends to kind of gravitate back towards the high of these wicks. So just all things to keep in mind in terms of this situation. I mean, you could see just some similarities. Red down, red trend reversal. Like, see, look, this is kind of cool. Like the daily chart is in alignment with the weekly pattern. Remember I told you when the SPY is like having these red, red down, but it's got to be placed, right? These bearish candles have to be placed at like trend reversal points or break and retest levels. It's got to be proper placement, which it currently is. It's placed at a break and retest on the weekly chart. But just a side note here, this daily chart is actually in alignment with the weekly chart pattern. Daily red facing down, daily red facing down, next day, very bullish. Next day, very bullish, right? And then if you go to the weekly chart on SPY, you're going to see it's the same thing, just a more macro time frame, right? um Red facing down kind of, red facing down kind of, red facing down kind of. Next week was bullish. Literally, this one was literally identical to what I showed you in terms of this green bullish week. Next week was bullish. This week was, already very green bullish overall move right here. Now it's just having this free money fuck you gap down play, just basically screaming at all the fucking degenerates of like, why the fuck are people not buying ES right now? Are they fucking asleep? Like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, I know being a degenerate is genuinely a fucking choice if people aren't buying ES. Like, the fuck, like, what the fuck are they doing? So, anyways, you know, it's all a choice. It's all a choice to lose when you see the market how I see it. It really is. Like, it's already reversing, it's already fucking bouncing. So I explained to you that that daily chart pattern on why it's very bullish and why we're gonna win and why the win rate's gonna maintain 100%. You know, I don't see how anyone could be red if your win rate's 100%. If my win rate was 100%, well, yes, I would just tell people to quit if they can't make money trading. Yes, it's like, dude, every time I buy and hold this fucking thing at night, I wake up the next day and it's up like fucking 30 to 50 points, and I sit here saying losing's a choice and on to the next one. So, anyways, you know, this is just all in alignment. Everything's in alignment to make money. Everything's in alignment to print. Everything's in fully alignment, and I'm liking the alignment. Um, and just yeah, this everything fucks. Everything looks good. Everything's gonna print. Um, and that's where we're just at, man. I'm telling you, these trend reversal candles, like shit's good. Everything's good, So now I'm gonna get into the 10-day 30-minute chart. So in terms of the 10-day 30-minute chart pattern, this is where it gets a little interesting. So I'm seeing two patterns. I'm gonna go over both the patterns, and as I'm going over both the patterns, I'll kind of have a feel for and also an eye for which one I think it's gonna be. But more importantly, I'm gonna show you how to determine and confirm which one it's gonna be. But yeah, I'm actually seeing two patterns, which in a way is making this a bit more complex. Um, but we're gonna go over the levels, and this is gonna be very, very simple. So what I'm gonna do is um I'm gonna get into this pattern, I'm gonna get into these levels, right? So let's see, let's take a look. Let's see. All right, so what is this? So what I'm doing is I'm trying to see, as of recently, what looks the most like this. So this is what I'm focused on. I'm focused on this move right here, the gap down, the bullish recovery, and then the downtrend. But more so, really focused on beginning right here, like this V, this U recovery, and then this drop sell off right here. So I'm really mainly focused on this pattern right here, right? So when you're trading tomorrow, I would encourage you to use, you know, March 8th up until today as a pattern recognition. And in terms of the patterns that I want you to focus on, now I'm going to get into that. So I'm seeing two. So, it looks like the one that appears to be identical, but again, I got to look more into the other one too, but this is what I was really looking at. I was looking at February 5th up until February 18th, right? So take a look at this. Slanted uptrend to the upside, right? Okay, well, actually, here we'll go a little bit further back so you can see this clearly. Let's zoom out of this a little bit. All right, so um, okay, so yeah, it's gonna actually be okay. We'll start it like right. Oh, okay, this is like fucking wow. This is like near. We can literally go back as far as February 2nd. Just we don't have to go back this far, but I'm just trying to give you a macro perspective of this. So we got this move up, Batman, come back down, spike, some lower highs, chop, lower highs, sell off, V shaped recovery, spike, crunch, come back down, bottom in between the low V and the high V recovery, and then begin to spike, 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 spike. So the bottoms were towards the tip of this V right here, and then towards the bottom of this V right here. Now the tip of the V right now, this is the V right now, it's at it's right around here, this 669, right? And 669 was a very strong break and retest level right here. This was 669. The high of the V we're talking about is towards 668 to 669. So we're right at a very strong V, U-shaped recovery, break and retest zone. Take a look. Massive resistance, massive breakout. Now we're at the retest, break and retest. Break and retest 30-minute chart pattern right here. This is a fucking gold mine. If you watched my video, I told you 669, the market was going to bounce first. I also told you the market was going to drop first at 682, and it dropped first multiple times at 682. We crushed it on calls multiple times on that 676 dip. But anyways, you know, if you studied what happened in this particular situation, when SPY formed this like V with the same pattern, it began to bottom at the top of the V. It did go lower, and then it bottomed at the lower part of the V. So the point being is, when the SPY first tested this level of this V, it had a nice move. It went from 680 all the way to 686, a 6 point move. So if SPY is hanging around above 669 to 670, it's going to have a nice spike and it's going to fill the gap. And when it fills the gap at 676.33, that's going to be our automation level to buy puts, because then it's going to try to reverse and attempt to go lower than 669. And then the next best level to go long and to buy calls would be right around here. Um, 600. Well, here, actually, I'm going to measure this. Yeah, let's fucking measure this. So let's see. It bottomed at 680, and then the next drop was 670. So 4 points. It was a 4 point drop. Now let's take a look at the levels. So we went 4 points below. We'll call it 669. We go to 664. That is one of our buy zones. That was one of our buy zones that we drew out. So, oh yeah, right here. So it's the same break and retest confirmation. So look, first level to go long is trading ES. If you're not trading ES, well, you're missing out on a 100% success rate. My win rate this year trading ES is 100%. I'm up over 1,200 fucking points, So if you're red, maybe you should start trading fucking ES. So right here, break and retest. This would be our next level, 664. And then below that, 658 to 659. So this is what I want you to understand. If the market holds 669, we're going to fill the gap. And then when we fill the gap, we want to buy puts, we want to go short. If the market starts to drop below 668, we come down to 664. We're going to go long, we're going to buy calls. And then 658 to 659, we're going to go long, we're going to buy calls. So in terms of automation levels, 664 is an automated level to go long. You get in, you get out. 658 to 659 is an automated zone to go long. You get in, you get out. In terms of right now, it appears if you really want to get in at 669, you got to trade futures. And if you're not trading futures, you might miss out on a 6 point gap fill play. And then when the gap fills during normal trading hours, then you could buy puts on SPY. So that's the most likely fucking outcome. And that's what I would suggest. I would suggest that losing is a personal choice. It really is. So yeah. If we go below 668, market takes a shit to 664, buy at 664, it reverses. Buy at 658, 659, it reverses, right? So if we went below 663, then it goes 658, 659. But the point is, even if it pushed lower, we should bounce first at the level it's at right now. We should bounce first at 664. We should have a very strong trend reversal likely at 664, and we should also bounce first and strong trend reversal at 658 to 659, right? So if you buy and it goes up and then it goes back down, losing's a choice because it went up, It really is a fucking choice. I don't see the point in being green if people don't take profits. Maybe they shouldn't be green to begin with. If someone wasn't going to take profits, I would just tell them, dude, just take L's. Just take L's all fucking day. If you don't want to take profits, just fucking take L's. Let trades that go green, let them go to red. Let your red trades, just let them go all the way fucking red. Just get the fuck out of the market. So our price ladder is very simple. Right now we're at make or break, hanging on by a thread. The most likely outcome is we bounce first, which is why I'm trading futures, because I haven't had a single loss on futures this week. Sleeping on the best setups at the best prices is a personal choice, right? And I choose to stay awake when there's a best setup at the best price. So this is a break and retest bounce. This is a break and retest bounce. This is a dude. If you bought here and it spiked, you'll be green. If you bought here and it spiked, you'll be green. If you bought here and it spiked, you'll be green. I'm giving you 3 golden fucking levels. If you literally just buy at the levels that I told you to fucking buy and take fucking profits, you should be green. You really should be, And like if you went long here and you somehow lost money, you should be able to make it all back and more with a 50% success rate. If you can't do that, then trading's not for you. You should be able to make it all back and more, buying here, buying here. If in the meantime, if the market did react bearish and it slipped under this, form lower highs, you can try to go short. That's another strat. That's a break and retest strategy on the short side, right? But you know, focus on the long plays and focus on the call plays. If you want the free money easiest fucking play, it's really 664 and 658 and 659. Without a doubt, the market should absolutely certainly bounce off of those fucking levels. 664, 659, it bounces first. You get in first. You have to get in when it hits the level. You can't be sitting around and waiting and then having it bounce, and then when it goes back to the level, oh, I'll buy it the second time after it already did what he fucking said, and then it doesn't work out. Please don't be a degenerate. You know, these levels when they hit, they fucking work. But if it hits and then it works and then you get in when it comes back down, that's just called being a degenerate. It really is. Unless you have the absolute best confirmations, by all means, you could do it, but the key to this system is to get in the first time it's tested. When motherfuckers don't see the traps coming, it works best the first time it's tested. People don't see the shit. People don't look at extended hours. People don't have the strategies and systems and know, oh, the break and retest extended hours is going to bounce first during normal trade hours. It literally works 90% of the fucking time. So do that. That's our price ladder. Now, in terms of the other pattern that I'm seeing, right? This is where it gets a little interesting. So, what was I looking at? Let me take a look at this. So I was seeing another pattern here. Yeah, I mean, the other pattern that I'm seeing is it just could have a little bit more downside. It's very possible. It's very real. Um, you know, but at the end of the day, there is a gap to fill above, and I could just hold ES if it drops, or I could just try to cut an for an L and smaller and get back in. I'm not really too concerned about it. Um, but yeah, the other pattern is signaling we could potentially drop further first and then have the reversal. And the reversals are gonna occur at 664 and 658 to 659 if that occurs, right? So just to understand, things are going to get a little bit ugly for the short term. If we start to go below this and form some lower highs, we bounce here. It could have a crazy reversal here, or it could just be a bounce. Either way, you're green if you go in and you set a profit stop, right? But it might not be up until here where it has the crazy reversal, right? So, I mean, in terms of this reversal, it could be a nice little bounce, but the crazy reversal could be down right here, right? So the more time that passes, the more I'll have a better under fucking standing on what it's gonna be. In terms of absolutely certainty, within time, that gap should fill, you know. But it's definitely gonna bounce here, and it's definitely gonna bounce here. We know that. We're absolutely sure on that. It's gonna bounce here, it's gonna bounce here. Right now it's hanging on by a fucking thread. We need to stay above 668. The key is to stay above 668. If we go below that, shit hits a fan. Crazy reversal here or just a bounce here. Crazy reversal here without a fucking doubt. So if people wanted the easiest free money, buy here, take profit. Buy here, hold a bit longer, take profit. Puts 676.33. And then in terms of right now, just give this shit some time. Give this shit some time. Because realistically, if one pattern is saying we could drop, the other pattern is saying within time it's going to hit these fucking levels anyways, right? Just got to be a little cautious. But man, it's just very attractive to be going long despite the downside potential because dude, we're at a fairly good level and there's a gap to fill above at 676, so I don't mind it, but I'm well aware this can definitely go to here into here. So we shall see, man. But I'm telling you, in terms of the bottom, the absolute lowest this can go, where everybody needs to be going long, is towards this 660, 660, 659. That's your absolute best level for calls, right? So if people can't be profitable with other information I've given them, dude, just fucking buy a dip, get in, get out at 664, and then fucking hold a dip and buy below 660. It's just gonna reverse, man. Just look at this. It bottomed this V, right? Look at this fucking V. So let's see. The low of this, what was the low of this? Low of this 671. And then what was the high of this? What was the low of this? 676. So 5 points. So it bottomed 5 points below the low. So what was the low of this? 657. So 5 points above the low. We're looking at 662. So yeah, that like 660 mark and 664 is very strong, solid buying zone. But even right now, we're just sitting at a level where, that's 668 and 669. Gosh, that number fucks. That's what it should have been. 668, 669, 6869. That zone fucks, or it's going to try to bounce first, even if it goes lower, right? So, like I said, I'm seeing two patterns. Both of the patterns are definitely saying that within some time, we will be going to these levels and the market will have strong bounces in reverse there. And we know what the best thing to do is. Um, One of the patterns that I'm seeing is saying that it's going to try to bottom and bounce where we are first. And then the other one is saying is it goes lower at first and bottoms at these levels, right? But even with the one that says we bottom first here, if it happens that way, we would bottom first, fill the gap, then it would try to go lower and hit these ones. That's how that could possibly play out. So just give this shit some time. If the market has that solid floor at 668, you need to be going long at that higher level. Um if the market starts breaking above 670, let's see, what is this? Okay, so look, this could be your break and retest level. Look. So there's two things you could do now. You could try to play a trend reversal, again at the best level, and risk it going lower, right? Or you can just say, fuck it, I'll just buy at the lower levels. And if the lower levels don't hit, then what you could do is you can wait for the market to break above 671. If the market starts breaking above 671s, you can buy at a higher level. One of the reasons why you would do that is it's just more confirmed. It held, it's breaking out, it's more confirmed, right? Because, like I said, I will say, in terms of this trade, there is some indecisiveness, and I could see that, because one pattern is saying it's going to try to drop first. The other pattern is saying is it's going to try to bottom first, but then drop lower within time. But the point being is, both of the patterns are saying that the SPY is bound to hit 664 to 660 and then have crazy reversal. One of the patterns is saying it's going to try to bottom first here and then spike, try to fill the gap, then sell off lower. But with absolute certainty, it does appear that within some time the market is going to try to hit this zone and then bounce reverse from the zone. What fucks with that is the weekly chart pattern is saying that the market is going to try to close bullish. Right? So, if we were going off absolutely no confirmations, the best trades with no confirmations and to just kind of wait, like if you didn't do shit here, if it starts breaking above 671, just go long, get in, get out. 664, go long, get in, get out. 660, 662, 659, go long, hold, get in, get out. 676, puts. So based off of every fucking pattern and not even using confirmations, that's what I would say are the best trades. Break above 671, go long. Gap close reversal 676, go short. 664, go long. 660 and below, go long. Right? So right now, I will say we're playing with a tad bit of a fire. Now, in order to put this fire out, time. Time's the only way. You give it time. If it just keeps on holding for several hours above 668, you know you need to be going long. But if you're looking for absolute certainty on what to do here, what I would tell you is to buy the break above 671. If it doesn't happen, buy at 664. And then obviously if it starts selling off below 668, by all means, you could try to play the ladder down and ride it down. Bearish puts go short to 664. You can do that. It's just within this overall market, you got to be extremely cautious with puts at lower levels. You could just wait to buy puts at 676. But another reason why shorts and puts will even be attractive at this level is because the market is showing strong signals within some time. We will be hitting this zone in this zone, right? So the best level to do that, and what I would prefer is we bottom here and then we go short at 676, then we hit the lower levels. That would be my personal preference, especially since I'm currently long on ES right now. Um, but there have been two patterns that I'm signaling it's gonna happen regardless. One says we bottom first, then fill the gap. The other says we crack first and then reverse at the lower levels, right? But like I said, both of the patterns that I'm seeing are definitely saying within time we will be hitting those lower levels, man. What kind of contradicts this is the weekly chart. That's kind of fucks with everything. But with absolutely certainty, within time we'll hit the lower levels, and within time we will fill the gap at 676, right? So if there's things that are absolutely certain, market will go to 676 within time, market will go to 659 and 664 within time, right? So then from there it's just having a system, having a trading style, and understanding how important timing is with what you're doing, right? But like I said, the easiest way to kind of play this is break above 671s, you start to go long. If it cracks below 668, if people want to try to do what they do in shorting, they could try it. But dude, I would just wait to buy at 664, wait to buy at 658, 659. If you want to go short so fucking bad, go short at the gap. Wait for the gap to fill, gap close reversal 676, right? But if someone really wanted to go fucking short, the only green light is 668. The advantage is to doing that, even though it's not the best level. The advantage to going short if we start to go below 668 is, like I said, the market is signaling within time. We will hit 664 and we will hit 660. It's also signaling within time. We will hit 676. The weekly chart is signaling it could be a bullish closing week. Right now, we're just hanging on by a fucking thread, not doing much, just keeps trying to form lower highs. I would have all the confidence in the world right now with my long position in terms of timing if it broke above 671, but it's still hanging on a thread, still forming lower highs. So it's kind of like, I'm kind of just in the trade. And what fucks with this trade that I'm in is, there's still a lot more downside potential, you know? That's what fucks with the trade that I'm in right now. There's still a lot more downside potential. So if I wanted to keep a loss small, I could just cut it below 668 and then re-go long, or I can scale some out, or I could just hold it and sell for a fucking win, right? And then take new positions right here at lower prices. I could do that fucking too. I mean, with my style and account size and what the fuck I'm doing, I could do whatever the fuck I want. But like, if people wanted to keep their losses to a minimum and they went long, I would tell them to kind of cut below 668 and then just go long and hold out the lower levels. This isn't necessarily the best level to be holding and going long, but it is a level where we could bottom first and fill that gap, right? So, clearest way to tell what's going to happen first is if we start to go below 668, we're going to hit the lower levels first. If we start to go above 671, we're going to hit the higher levels first. So in terms of the situation that I'm at, um, and just with all the fucking possibilities that can happen, best thing you guys can kind of do, if the market starts going above this, forming higher support, green bullish 30-minute candlesticks, green, red, green, go long, play for the gap to fill, then go short at the gap 676. If the market starts selling off below 668, forming lower highs, right, reacting bearish, cracking the level, if you want, you can go short. Um, I don't like the level. I'd rather go short at 676. It should work regardless, right? What I do like about the idea of it cracking is the market is supposed to go to this lower zone anyways, and it's also supposed to fill the gap, right? So we're hanging on by a thread at this gravitational break and retest zone. We hold the zone, break above 671, best confirmation to go long. We go below the zone, form lower highs, quick short if you want, because it will try to hit those levels. And then once we go 664 and 660, 659, we go long, in and out, right? The true best things you can do, like I said, go long 659, 660, go long 664, go long above 671. If you want to try a quick short, it's got to go below 668. be careful. And best short 676. And that's it, So use the price ladder, use those levels to your advantage and understand, if a level breaks out and retests and reacts bullish, then it goes up to the next level. If a level cracks below, spikes up, forms lower highs, then it goes down to the next level. Right now, we're sitting on a fucking thread, and what the thread is going to determine is it's going to determine if we hold and we're bullish and we break out, we fill the gap at 676. If we go below 668, react bearish, then we hit 664, either big reversal there or small bounce there. Either way, it bounces first. You get in, you get out, you go long, right? Um, then it fills the gap, or it comes back further down to here and then it fills the gap. I mean, most likely outcome would be is if we did go below 668, we would bounce first here and then we would start and then we would go to like 669 to 670. Then we would go lower and bottom here for the gap fill at 659 to 662, right? So that's the game plan. That's what you guys need to do. Use my levels, use the price ladder to your advantage. The final levels are 659 and 660 overall zone, 662, 664 best long zones, and the market is signaling that it is going to hit those zones within time, especially if we go below 668. That's when it will happen. Below 668, we hit the lower zones. You can get in, get out on puts, then you get in, get out on calls both levels, right? If we hold 669, maintaining bullish, break above 671, best confirmations to go long. Break below 668, best confirmations for puts to go short, right? And then 676 puts, and those are your fucking levels. Break above 671, fill the gap, and then gap close reversal 676. Break below 668, come back down to 664, bounce, likely goes to 669, 670, then tries to push lower, and then bounce right here at 660, right? If any of you are in on the futures trade, if you want to keep your loss small, if SPY starts to go below 668, you can cut it, make it all back and more towards this zone and towards this zone, and you could even switch to shorts, right? So this first trade, I will say right now I am lacking a bit of confidence. I do like how we're still holding, but I don't like the lower highs, but that could flip quickly. If you want to keep losses smart and small, you just cut up below 668, no big deal. Um, I will say, it's currently not the best confirmation or the most predictable setup because it's saying that we're hanging on a thread. The gap's gonna fill within time, and these levels are gonna hit within the fucking time, right? So we're make or break. So give something some time, wait for some confirmations, wait for either a break above 671 or a break below 668. Wait for the key level to break out or to break down. Make a move if you want to make a move. If not, wait for the trend reversals. Trend reversal for puts 676, trend reversal for calls 664 and 660. Use this game plan, use my levels to your advantage, wait for proper confirmations, you know? Like see, this is the disadvantage. Like I I'm long. I got in at a great price. My advantage is I can cut my loss quickly if I wanted to, and I get the best entry. My disadvantage is it's lacking some confirmation right now, and I'm not as confident, but I would be hell of a lot more confident, and I feel like I would time it a lot better, and it'd be more confirmed, I think, if we just broke above 671, right? But I'm in right now, which means I have a better entry and I can also keep my loss small if I do want to cut it if it starts to go below 668, right? And that's something that traders have to decide in terms of their trading what it is that they want. Certain trades you might want a better entry. And for certain trades where you get that better entry, maybe there's lack of confirmations, maybe you're okay with cutting your loss short, or maybe you're okay with holding. I mean, in this particular situation, the most logical thing would actually be to cut your loss short and then just move on to the next best trade, which is what I explained to you, right? If your entry is so close to a level, that decides if we're going to have a massive drop, which is what mine is close to. Most logical thing is usually to just cut your loss when it starts to drop below that level a little bit, right? Just wait for it to drop below a little bit. If it looks bearish, forming lower highs, then just get out, keep the L small. What keeps your L small in that situation is you got a very good entry. But if you bought at 671, you know, it's more confirmed, it's more time, but it's not the best entry, right? So, anyways, use those levels to your advantage. Use the confirmations of the 30-minute chart. That's the game plan. And yeah, If you guys want to join our group, it's the first link down below in the description. You gain access to our secured private organization and network. As you can see, we absolutely crushed it today once again. These were the trades. As you can see, every single day, you gain access to a real-time zero-day options trade alert system inside of our secured private organization, where you're trading alongside multi-millionaire traders who specialize in trading SPY zero-day options, SPX zero-day options. And you're going to see you get access to a morning game plan, multiple perspectives, key levels of interest to be trading at, real-time zero-day options trade alert system. Like today, we had 420 Tesla calls for 35 cents. And in terms of those Tesla calls, they went all the way to 152 cents at the speed of light. You cannot name a single other trader who bought 420 Tesla calls for 35 cents a contract. That far out of the money, that cheap, not even zero-day expirations. And the shit went from 35 cents, added, triple the position size, which triples your gains at 36 cents, and then sold that above 150. Do the math. 30 to 150. We're talking about a 500% plus gainer there at the speed of fucking light, right? Then there was an L after that. Keep losses small. See, look at the contrast. You want to see the contrast of our trades? Look, this is contrast right here. You want to see how you get rich with a 50% success rate in a situation like this? Look, I'll show you. This is how we get rich. Look, this is what we do. We bought calls at 35 cents. The calls started to go up from our entry. We quickly added to the winners. Adding to winners increases your position size, which increases your gains. It doubles, triples your gains, right? And it went to 150. So 30 to 150, right? 6, 9, 120, 150. That's 400 fucking percent returns, right? So that's a 400% return. And we added to the winners, which doubles the triple the gains. Now, you want to see our loss? Look, this is our loss. This is a 100% loss. So look at that. That's a 50% win rate on 2 trades. And the wins come first because we're the fucking best. If you start green first and you finish red, don't trade. You're a fucking degenerate. The most you risk if you choose to keep on trading, not that you have to, you can just go out and go fuck off and do whatever the fuck you want to do, is 25 to 50% of your gains. So the next trade, the most you can lose is what you put into the contract, your max risk per trade. The most you can lose is 100%. The most you can make is unlimited percent. On this trade, we made 400%. On this trade, we lost 100%. So you're up 300%. But on this trade, we tripled the position size. On this trade, we didn't add to the loser. So all of a sudden, the win rate goes out the door because the percentage gains are so fucking high and we're adding to the winners, which is doubled and tripled the gains, which is fucking genius. And what makes this more genius is we don't add to losers. We don't set stop losses. We put in our max risk per trade into these trades. And what we do is we add to winners and we set profit stops. If you add to a win, you increase your gains. If you set a profit stop, it's impossible to go green to red. If you add to a loser and set a stop loss, you get stopped out and you lose more money. If you add to a winner and set a profit stop, you increase your gains and get profit stopped out for more money. This is what they don't teach you. Nobody teaches this, It's a secure private organization where you gain access to multimillionaires with systems that make you fucking money at the speed of light. This is what people don't teach. They don't teach you that. Most people say use a stop loss, take small wins. Over here, we don't use stop losses. And when people get stopped out, they lose their max risk per trade. What we put into these cheap, low risk trades is our max risk per trade. So we don't need a stop loss. We could just let the contracts expire worthless. We trade the trend. We have the whole fucking day for the trend to go within our favor. So yeah, that's what the fuck we do. And it fucks. It's unlimited winning. It's unlimited fucking printing. 676 calls at 46 cents. 6775 SPX calls for 210 cents. Everything printed. Look, 77 cents, 440 cents. That's 3 for 4. Me, I've been winning non-fucking stop, dude. My trades inside a group have been winning non-fucking stop. I finally had an L on calls today. It was like the first one in 2 fucking weeks, but I had wins before that, so it's all fucking good. Like, dude, my winning streak was fucking flawless, man. That's man, I'm gonna make a video about this week. I took another swing trade on Moderna, man. Dude, my last swing trade on fucking Moderna, oh my gosh, I made people a fuck ton of money. One guy in the chat said he made the 700% return on my swing trade, dude. Look at this. This was my swing trade on Moderna. Right here, And I told people in fucking 2020 to buy Moderna at fucking 50. This shit went to fucking 500. Here I am again, same shit, different fucking year. Just, a million times better, more experienced, more profitable, fucking genius level. I took a swing trade on Moderna, 41 calls. Look at this. This was January 14th, 2026. 41 calls, $7. Those calls are worth over fucking $26, dude. $700 into $2,600. June 18th expiration. I have a profit target for my next swing trade that I just entered today, $80 by the end of fucking April, man. Shit's fucking crazy, man. I made so much fucking money off of fucking Moderna, man. Dude, this is like literally one of the best stocks to be buying. It's literally setting up for a move to 80 by the end of April. It looks like the next 2 months are going to be very bullish, man. But yeah, someone in the chat, they showed they made over a 700% return on a swing trade that they made, and they chose their own strike. They didn't even choose the one that I chose. My strike went up like 400%. They went further out of the money. Theirs went up 700%. Self sufficiency. When you're self sufficient, when you have education, you get to decide on what system you want to create. But we all knew that direction was going to be up, and we fucking killed that. So yeah, man, we've been winning nonstop. There's a lot of fucking winning, so much winning that just we don't even have the time to post how much fucking wins we had, dude. The place I'm living in, I think I went to, I would say, how much? Maybe like 12. I think I went to like 12 different portals in the city that I'm living at today. If I did like an optimized schedule, I could probably do 100 portals a day here. So my life's pretty fucking intense. Like it's fucking insane. Um it's fucking amazing, man. It's fucking insane, man. I went through like 12 different fucking portals today. Fucking like the year of the horse. So yeah, I would suggest you guys get in here, and I would suggest that you start winning, man. Everything was on point. Everything was fucking spot on point. So much winning. I will say that like with all of the fast paced winning and all of the like moving around that I'm doing, like I went through like 12 different portals today in this place that I'm living at. Just with all the shit that I have going on, I will say that it's hard to remember on like how many wins I had or just everything that I fucking did, in terms of like trading. It's like, dude, like I went 6 for 7 the other day. I normally don't trade that much. So like it's hard to remember all that shit because by the time the day's over, I'll go in like 30 different fucking portals, and then I have a million other fucking things going on in my life. And I'm sitting here saying, dude, what the fuck am I doing recapping talking about yesterday? I'm already in a trade on futures, and now I got this plan at this fucking night spot, and then I got fucking more trades to make tomorrow. It's like, put it this way, man. We are moving and living so fucking fast that the recap shit, I'm not even gonna fucking I don't remember. I like, dude, I had 6 for 7 wins. I don't even remember what the fuck. Like we're moving so fucking fast that we're just winning, and that's about it. Like that's what the fuck we're doing, man. But yeah, man, in the near future, I'm gonna be more like rooted, and we're gonna make this shit more educational, more professional when I launch my new group. But dude, we are just moving and living so fucking fast right now, and it's just fast fucking money, fast fucking wins, non fucking stop. Like I said, I can't even recap the day before because I know I went 6 for 6, 6 for 7. And I know like if I really tried my best, I could recap all that shit, but it's just gonna take too much time. And time has passed, and like I'm in a trade on futures now, and I have to head out soon to do something else. Then I have to go to sleep, and then I have to wake up tomorrow and make more trades. So it's like with the life I'm living, we kind of just moved past that shit. But when I launch this new program, there's gonna be like professional educational recaps for like paid members and all stuff like that. When I'm not fucking moving around and going through fucking a million fucking portals and shit like that. But I'm strategic. I'll figure it all out, man. It's just been a lot of movement lately of just winning. It's basically just turning to winning nonstop. Like literally as I'm telling you the truth of what I'm doing, SPY is just going up. So that's an alignment. Whenever I talk, whenever I tell the truth, it just does what I say. It's just, some people have that spiritual gift. They just manifest it. They just speak it into existence, and it works. That's given me a lot of confidence, and it's given me a lot of confidence because this is a green, red, green. This is resistance. This is a break. This is a retest. This is everything I fucking teach. When you teach people how to make money, it comes back. It's a very true saying in this world, what goes around comes around. So if you do good, not just for yourself and for others, it all comes back around. Some people's problems is they try to do good for other people, but they're not even good them fucking selves. That's a broken equation. It's like, dude, all you motherfuckers need to put yourselves first. Like, fuck everybody else. Put yourself first and then start doing good for fucking others, teaching people, putting other people fucking on. But if you don't put your fucking self first, you ain't helping no fucking one do any fucking thing. You ain't helping fucking shit. You know? Like, put yourself first, be self-sufficient, and then if you fucking want to, start giving back and it starts coming around full fucking circle. Because I'm telling you, if people don't put their shit first and try to help others or whatever the fuck, they ain't helping shit, and they could be 100 times fucking better, If most people just focused on themselves, they'd realize that fucking a lot of it could just be helping other people, and they're just so much better off just being fucking alone or whatever the fuck. So, anyways, man, I would suggest you join our group because we're winning a lot. And the reason why we're winning a lot is because we've figured things out that others haven't, and we've lived certain lives that others haven't, and we've experienced certain things that others haven't. And there's just some people in this world, they've genuinely been through certain things, and they've tried their absolute best, and they've gone through it. And some people in this world, they're just genuinely chosen to do certain things. And we've achieved it. We are definitely the one. So if you want to trade alongside us, it's the first link down below with the description. It's cheap, low risk, far the money, zero rate options. We sell them deep in the money for the biggest percentage gains. And no stop losses, max risk per trades, which you put into the trades, add to winners, hold winners, sell deep in the money, right? So with that being said, I'm signing off. Let's see, what is ES at now? Let's see. Oh wow. well, well, as I was making this video, I just made a fuck ton more. Well, if there's one thing I could say, I'm not gonna sell, but in terms of a truth, losing's a choice. The trade went up again. Every time this year I bought ES, every time I sold, it was a massive win. But it's like, dude, if you buy a trade and it goes up and then it goes red, well, losing's a choice. So you guys sell when you want. I alert my sells, but you guys sell when you want. If something goes green to red, well, that's on fucking you, dude. Like right now, I'm up fucking 7 points. Like I'm up 6 points right now. You know, that's a win. That's money. Like that's good. But I ain't playing for no 6 fucking points. There's a fucking cap to fill at fucking 670, dude. like but with that being said, losing's a choice. The trade went green. That's another thing. Like people talk about holding for big winners. What if every trade they made was green first? They wouldn't even need a big win, dude. My win rate's 100% on ES. I don't even need a big win. I'm sitting here saying, dude, I could just take profits every fucking time and be fucking green. But I'm playing a lot more than fucking that shit. If I'm up 1,200 points, why would I take points? Why would I take profits when I'm up 505 points, dude? You see what I'm up against? I'm up against a fucking mountain. I've already profitable 1,200 points this year on ES, not a single loss. What the fuck is 5 points gonna add to it? It's like, why even make the fucking trade unless I'm doing that 100 times a day? But the difference with ES is I trade it at night, I sell in the morning. I swing trade it. I rarely day trade ES. I day trade SPY 0 dates. That's what I day trade. ES, it's swing trade. That's my swing trading system. I could sit here and trade it. I just don't feel the need to, because the way ES works is if you trade at night, it's just unlimited fuck you money air. Or if you just hold this shit and play for the gap to fill, it's unlimited free fuck you money. Dude, losing's a choice. My trade's up 7 points right now. Motherfuckers ain't even in a trade right now and talking shit. I'm like, dude, how you're not even in a fucking trade? I'm 7 fucking points. Fuck. I could close out that trade and dip off for the rest of the fucking week. Do whatever the fuck I want. Like, this shit's fucking insane, man. We're winning so much that it's our lifestyle. It's like a sport. This shit's like fucking legit. So that's a great confirmation. So yeah, you guys do what you want. We win. That's what we do. If you're wondering like what we're doing, like if I'm not posting, if I'm disappearing, we win. That's what we do. Like if people join the group, they would see, oh, they just win in the group. That's what they do. They just trade inside their group and they win. They don't feel the need to do anything else. They just win. Oh, there was no video. They're winning in the group. Like, dude, I had one of my best days this year. I didn't post a video. I've actually noticed on some of my best days, I don't post videos. You know, it would have been a great video. I could have went over how I did all that. I went 6 for 7 the other day. I can't remember the last fucking time I had 7 fucking trades, and the first 6 were wins, and the last yellow was a loss. Like, dude, I made so much banks, and they were timed perfect. Everyone was fucking, they were all ecstatic of these wins I had. I commentated it fucking perfect with analysis, education, every fucking thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, one thing I will say is if this was the peak and ES went all the way down to 6,600, you know, what I would say is, well, my trade went up 7 points. Losing was a choice, you know? So people need to create their own systems. People need to sell where they want to sell because everyone trades different. Everyone has different systems, dude. I'm up 1,200 points. If this drops 100, I lose, I don't even lose 1/10 of what I made, you know, like this year. And I don't trade ES a lot. I trade it like 3 times, 2 to 3 times a week. You know, so everyone has different everyone's in different positions, everyone has different styles. You guys got to create your own systems with your edge, with your level. You know, everyone's on different levels and shit. You need to have your own shit with your levels. But this 0 to 8 trade alert system will put you on. The shit prints 24/7, dude. It's just unlimited fucking winning, unlimited fucking printing. I mean, you guys saw today, like fucking Tesla calls 30 cents to 150. Dude, nobody's fucking doing that in the morning. This shit's fucking crazy popping off. And then all my wins like fucking 6 for 7. And then today, man, I had this crazy fucking, this was insane, man. My auto level worked too. Um, man, I told people to automatically buy calls on auto alerts. We don't even alert the trades because we just tell them to automatically get in. If they don't know what the fucking strike to buy, dude, they're not even fucking traders. Get the fuck out of the group. Like, you guys have to have your shit and your systems together. Like fucking I literally said auto buy calls 675 best level possible. That was at market open. I literally said at market open the best level to buy calls was at 675. I shit you not. The first time that level was tested, it was the exact lows, and SPY went to 678.50, dude. So losing's a choice, man. So with that being said, I'm signing the fuck off. If you guys want to print, listen to what the fuck I said. Losing's a choice. The market looks bullish as fuck. It looks like I'm gonna have another massive fucking win. While some people are just wondering what the fuck we're doing. I'm like, dude, if I'm not posting a video, we're winning. Like you can join the group and see all we do is win. Whether we post or not, we're just fucking winning, dude. Like join the group and see how much we fucking win. So I will see you guys within the chat from here. We're going to crush it the rest of this week. It is expected to be a very simple, easy overall week.